Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, with an update on the former Bachelorette star James McCoy Taylor arrest. I've got the photo right here of his mugshot and also a photo of him getting cuffed at the bar. My initial thought was he did something wrong at the bar. Well, as it turns out, I don't know if it's because they scanned his ID or he was recognized. I guess they had a warrant for his arrest dating back to April. I'm going to share all of this. It's a wild story. There is going to be some very sensitive subjects to talk about here. I'm going to have to refrain from using certain words, namely because Google, which owns YouTube, is very, very sensitive with these types of topics. You're about to see why. And by the way, I just got this gift from somebody at Bloomingdale's. Who sent this? I have no idea what this is. I'm going to open it live on the Patreon today. So go, I appreciate it. Thank you in advance. You guys are so kind. Just a quick thank you. And also all of the other information that we're learning today about this story and others, Olympics, pop culture, entertainment news, and Kamala Harris choosing her VP pick. I've already got that story on Instagram, but I'm going to have that all and more for you today on the Rush Hour podcast. So stick around for that. All right. Again, tough to discuss this. Certain words I'm going to have to not say. It's just the way it works out. James McCoy Taylor, charged with restraining and the A word, 19-year-old college student. The alleged SA that he denies reportedly happened after James Taylor, not the singer, well, a different singer, met the woman at a Northgate bar in April. Apparently he goes to these bars, and again, by the way, if this sounds like a familiar story, we've got multiple, this guy's been in the news more often than you should. Major a-hole got arrested. This was 1 year ago. He got the DUI arrest. Yesterday, we covered his explanation of it. Sounds like he was just an a-hole to the cop. You know, all these people that say, oh, we support law and order. They just don't support it when it's in their face. He discussed what went down following his DUI arrest. And then we covered yesterday, he got arrested again. Plus, he was going to file a defamation lawsuit with Bachelor alum Erica Rose. I don't think he ended up doing it, but people reported that he went to the insurrection on January 6th. He didn't end up going. It was just reported that he was going to go, of course, because he said, see y'all in DC, hashtag March for Trump. That aged poorly, as hundreds of people have been arrested for their participation in that event. Now, I covered this story 3 years ago. You can see how boyish my charm was. I was a spry 36-year-old. My green screen was atrocious. Boy, have we come a far way. Either way, you can go catch these other videos up. I can't believe we're going to need to have a James McCoy Taylor playlist with all of the different content we have. But let's continue to this newest allegation, which I think is by far the most serious, with a paper trail of evidence. And you know what? Before I share that, let's just share what Page 6 has to say about it.
Bachelorette alum James McCoy Taylor was arrested on charges including assault. Page 6 can exclusively reveal. College Station Police Department's Public Information Officer David Simmons says James was handcuffed at a bar in Brazos County, Texas.
By the way, never trust a man in a Patagonia vest. Okay? There you go.
He says the former reality star was taken into custody on warrants issued by the nearby Bryan Police Department. James was booked on 2 charges, assault causing bodily injury and unlawful restraint stemming from an incident on April 24th. He was shortly released on an $8,000 bond.
You know what? This is where my own empathy becomes too strong. I see the inner child, shave off the beard, show me the 7-year-old. I see what could be a nice guy. I mean that. He could be a nice guy. Maybe he's got a drinking problem. Maybe he doesn't respect women because he's indoctrinated with different beliefs. I truly don't know. But I would love to see a different version of him that is the lovable, likable guy he claims he is. Now, these paper trails of him, he would have to, could he just be targeted? No, I don't think that's the case. But either way, innocent until proven guilty. The 38-year-old from Katy was arrested at a Northgate bar this past week by police after warrants were issued for his arrest. In this recent case, Taylor is accused of meeting a 19-year-old Blinn College student at Northgate Bar in April and bringing her back to a home in Bryan where he allegedly, assaulted her and prevented her from leaving. An arrest report obtained by KBTX says after the two met at Northgate on Wednesday, April 24th, Taylor and the woman left the bar and returned to a condo Taylor had been staying in on West 22nd Street in Bryan. Once there, the two kissed in a bedroom, but the woman told police she changed her mind and wanted to leave after she began to feel uncomfortable. She told police Taylor started to get very serious and intense and got a look on his face that frightened her. During this time, according to the police report, the woman went into a restroom and called a friend who ordered an Uber so she could leave. When she exited the restroom, the woman told police Taylor was found nude on the bed. She asked him to put his clothes back on and told him she wanted to leave. So at this point, I'm no expert in crime, but at this point, I don't believe he's committed a crime, right? Cringe, yes. Crime, I don't believe so. Although maybe there's local crimes about being lewd. I have no idea. But it doesn't look great for him at this point. Now, a lot of people say, well, whenever there's some sort of issue with regards to these domestic sorts of things, DV, there's no paper trail. You don't call the police. You need to. And I understand why people don't, you don't want to deal with the shame of feeling violated and this and that. But she does everything you're supposed to do here. Listen. The arrest report. So during this time, according to the police report, women went into the restroom. We saw that. Found him nude on the bed. Very Titanic-esque of him. Draw me, Jack. The arrest report says Taylor walked the woman down to the front door. How kind. And when she opened it, he slammed it shut and began forcibly kissing her. He then allegedly threw her to the ground, got on top of her and groped her private area, the report says. The woman told police she was eventually able to break free and escape out of the front door and got into an Uber that was waiting outside. Bryan police met with the accuser the following day and noted multiple contusions were seen on the survivor's hip and buttocks. Officers also observed the text messages sent between the woman and her friend that matched her story of what happened. Some of the text said, "Please come get me. I'm not okay, and he's forcing himself on me." When police, and by the way, you want to believe innocent people, right? But for these text messages to be documented, it does not look good for him. When police spoke with Taylor about the allegations, he reportedly told them the encounter was enjoyable and consensual, and he denied ever shoving her to the ground and getting on top of her. Police noted in their probable cause affidavit that they did not believe Taylor was being truthful with them about what happened. Now, by the way, I'm not one of those types that's going to slut shame anybody. Well, you shouldn't have been there doing this. If he doesn't want these types of stories to happen, should probably not be dating or hooking up with 19-year-olds at college bars. It sounds like some of these issues, if he was sober-minded and maybe with adults, wouldn't happen per se. Again, that's of no blame towards her. She meets a guy, he seems like a nice guy. She's all right, whatever, let's go back and hang out, whatever. You need to operate under the pretense that when you decide to leave, you will be allowed to leave and you won't be intimidated and this and that. When police spoke with Taylor about the allegations, he reportedly told them the encounter was enjoyable. All right, we got that. Taylor was taken into custody in the early hours of Sunday, August 4th, after he was located by police at a bar in Northgate. He was booked into the Brazos County Detention Center on charges of assault, causing bodily injury, and unlawful restraint. He was released on bond totaling $8,000. Now, did he unlawfully restrain her by slamming the door shut or putting... I have no idea the sort of severity of these charges. In a statement sent to KBTX following the arrest, Taylor again denied the allegations. So here's what James McCoy Taylor said. "So let me get this straight. Not so much as a scratch on me as I showed to police... Not so much as a scratch on me as I showed to police via pictures of my whole body, which was awkward to say the least, and I'm a pretty big guy. But I was trying to unlawfully restrain a girl, and she just got away and walked right to her Uber right outside my house with no injuries. Okay, got it. This makes tons of sense. Trust me, if there were any injuries, they'd be all over the internet." The woman's father tells KBTX that after this happened, his daughter left Blinn College and moved to another school in the state as a result of this incident. My big question I have right now is, did the police look at James McCoy Taylor's body the night of this event? And if so, why would there now be a warrant out for his arrest months later? Or is he arguing months later, 4 months later, 3.5 months later, there's no marks on my body, which of course there wouldn't be any. And by the way, there could absolutely be marks on her body and not on his. He is a big man. Just because he pinned her down doesn't mean she's going to gouge his eyes out. So that's not exactly evidence that exonerates him. In the statement shared with KBTX, Taylor admits to not remembering the woman's name, but references her family, whom he says has confronted him about what happened. Taylor goes on to say, "I would never hurt anybody. I'm nice to every person I meet. That's my statement. Now go ahead and trash my life because you hate my political stances or for the views you'll get on TikTok." Now, by the way, I don't think this has anything to do with his political stances. He is a big MAGA guy. He writes songs about Trump and this and that. But regardless of if you're a MAGA guy or a Tim Walz guy or maybe a Shapiro guy or a David, regardless of who you are in support of, I would hope the political system would protect all victims, right? Taylor may be best known for his appearance on Bachelorette Season 12. He made national headlines in 2021 after he threatened to sue several media outlets that he claims falsely reported he was part of the January 6th Capitol riot. Again, those media outlets had every right to report on that because he claimed he was going to be a part of it. Since then, he has amassed a following among conservatives on his social media platforms. He also was arrested in 2022. We got that. The police said he was verbally abusive. He was found guilty in 2023 on the charges and only sentenced to serve 5 days. So what will happen since he's already served? Will that mean this punishment would be greater? I honestly don't know. But, look, everyone's entitled to benefit of the doubt. My whole thought, though, with that is you start to lose the benefit of the doubt when you continue to have issues. I don't know. Maybe it's the second mugshot where you start to go, hey, maybe you're the problem. If I were him, at the very least, I would take this as a sign to get sober, and maybe to detach myself from that scene that apparently attracts him to drama. That would be the start. Where you go from there, who knows? Either way, we'll see how this goes down. If they end up charging him, I think he's been charged, right? So anyway, we'll have all your updates as they come in. If you want more content, like I said, I've got pop culture and entertainment news with a hint of politics over there on the podcast, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. We appreciate you. We'll see you then.